All right, we are going to be covering and diving into how to find investors for free, all the free resources, the tips and the tricks, what we use. Just a brief overview of myself. If you guys are new here, my name is Nikita Manjares. Go ahead and connect with me on LinkedIn. I've got lots of fun resources around raising capital, finding investors, everything to accelerate capital raises, which is really what we specialize in. For real estate, private equity startups, we've done a little over $4 billion in deals and investments have been taken to market. And the very first thing that we always do, regardless of what it is that we're raising for, whatever type of project, is understand who we are making things for, right? We do everything from pitch decks to market prep to investor readiness to investor identification to the strategy and hand holding through every step of the capital raise. And we always start with who are the investors we are going after, right? And a deep understanding of who we're pitching to, who's going to be the best fit investor for us, who's most likely to say yes, who we have the easiest amount of access to. And we've done this across dozens and dozens and dozens of deals and syndications and funds and companies. So let's go ahead and dive on in. Let's get to all the free ways. This is just what I found. Now, there's probably a lot more, but you're really going to be able to find several thousand investor contacts by doing this and establish some really good investor connections. Now, I need to preface this in you have to have time set aside to focus on capital raising efforts and new investor connections, right? If you are expecting some magic switch, some list that you could just click or call and get an investor check, that's definitely not how it works, right? If you're in the process of raising capital, you consistently raise capital, it should be your 24/7 effort. And if it's not your 24/7 effort, someone on your team needs to be filling that role or supplementing some of those efforts. And we'll talk through some of those things. But first, I want to talk through two areas where we're going to be identifying and finding investors, some of the tools that I use, and really the easiest ways to get started. So first, we're going to talk about your backyard. Everybody talks about owning your backyard. Well, what does that actually mean, right? I can own my backyard. How do I know all the investors in my backyard? How do I meet everyone here? The first thing that you're going to do is you're going to come over to LinkedIn and you're going to search words like ventures, right? So I'm located in Salt Lake City, Utah area, Utah, let's just say. I'm going to come over to companies, right? I'm going to apply some filters and I'm going to add a location. I'm going to say, I want companies that are in Utah. Now, you may need to invest in some LinkedIn tools like Sales Navigator or other search features. Figure out how much is free. I have the paid version, right? Pay for LinkedIn Premium or whatever. So I'm not exactly sure how much is with the free version, but you should be able to perform these searches here simply by going companies, Utah. Okay. You're going to go through and you're going to realize that, hey, there's 23 pages of results. Awesome. You are going to set aside 45 minutes to an hour a day, or you need to have a VA do it and train them how to do this, how to go through and start compiling these lists. And you're simply going to just start going through some of these companies, right? Let's take literally 2 minutes and see how much information that we can get. RET VC, real estate technology. Okay, so these are investing in the next generation. Great, cool. Real estate assets represented by strategic investors. Okay, so that's the first step I do. Then, if I really want to figure out how much capital they have under management, I'm going to Google them, RET Ventures, right? We're going to see what pops up specifically in the news section, right? It's not on their website. Also, they just did a $2 million investment in funding. So they are actively doing deals. This is literally one day ago. Startup 8 million Series A round. Great. The fact that they pop up in this likely means that they were one of the investors. Maybe they were leading the round. Now we're talking about VC, but this is also going to apply to any type of investment group, family office, institution. We just have to know where to start to find these people. But you're going to go through these lists and you're just going to click through one by one, do some basic research. Clicked on them about a minute and a half ago. Going to go to people, going to look through who are the managing partners, who are the founders, who's the CEO, and you're going to connect with these people. Just connect with them. You don't need to send a message. Maybe you just say, hey, I just want to introduce myself, local here in Utah, thought we should connect. Boom, you're going to connect with them. Okay, that's the first step. Really easy. You could do this all day long. As long as you understand the types of companies that you're going after, and maybe it's a family office. Well, how do you find family offices? Let's try the same search. We have 303 results. Rosehaven Family Office, Park City SB Family Office, investment management. Okay, so now we start to see financial service companies and investment management companies, NX Next Gen Family Office, financial services. We can also start to search by these company types and these tags, okay? You're going to go through and you're going to get a list of all of these family offices, right? Spend some time doing this. Go through this exact same process. Rosehaven Family Office. Now, maybe this is big, maybe this is small. We don't quite know yet, but we're going to do just a little bit of high level research. Right? Build and protect, preserve your family's wealth. Maybe they are managing their own money. Maybe this is really just a wealth management firm trying to disguise. Regardless of whether or not that's the case, connect with these people. Go through the people, see who's on here. 2 associated members. We got a wealth advisor, managing director. Reach out to them and connect. Especially if you guys have mutual connections, you should be doing this and spending an hour a day going through and establishing some warm lists, some warm relationships with family offices and different groups in your area, right? And maybe it's a direct outreach if you are raising for a deal right now. I'm just saying, hey, we're raising for a few deals. Thought it might be along what you guys are looking for. Would love to connect for 10 to 15 minutes, right? You're not trying to book an hour meeting with these people. You're not trying to ask them for even 30 minutes of their time. It's like, hey, we'd love to chat for 5 to 10 minutes if you have a second. Great. I've had incredibly valuable conversations with VC firms and family offices that have lasted 3 minutes. And it's because immediately we'll figure out if there's a fit or if there's not a fit. And if there's a fit, cool, send us some information and let's chat next week. If there's not a fit, hey, no worries. I didn't waste your time and you didn't waste my time. And we had a positive interaction, right? Unlike sitting on a 30-minute phone call where that turns into a negative interaction very quickly. So start going through LinkedIn. This is exactly how you own your backyard, right? Search financial services, investment management, look for funds, connect with the founders, the principals, the GPs. And then what you're going to do is as you're connecting with people in your backyard, you need to be publishing thoughtful stuff on LinkedIn, contribute value to LinkedIn, right? Comment on people's stuff, interact, start to build relationships on these platforms, okay? Spend 20, 30 minutes a day, set a timer for twice a day for 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, where you're going to scroll through and comment on people's stuff. It could really be that simple. And either you are doing it or you need to have someone on your team is actively doing this, right? This is how you start to establish more of a brand presence, establish yourself. And obviously, as you're doing a lot of these connections, make sure that your profile and your efforts, your brand presence reflects what you do, right? If you're doing a lot of outreach to people and saving and saying, hey, I'd love to chat, would love to connect, and yet they go to your LinkedIn profile and nothing reflects what it is that you do, you're immediately going to lose credibility, right? When I say, hey, I accelerate capital raises and hey, we partner with people to help them identify investors and take them through the process, get ready to go to market, all these different things. We have partnerships to do placement. People look at my profile and they say, okay, yeah, that checks out. Great. We're going to check out his website. Oh, cool. Right? He's got a lot of stuff together here. Okay. So this is more legitimate. All of his content is focused around this. Oh, cool. We could see a little company overview, right? You really need to start to showcase who you are and what you do and make sure that that's reflected in your brand presence. The reason I'm using my LinkedIn profile as an example, because LinkedIn is a big tool for my brand presence, right? But this is your website. These are your socials. Start to make sure that's uniform when you're doing this backyard approach. So now let's go to the next source, which is free data. And once again, I'm going to start with LinkedIn and show you guys some very interesting things. The only thing I'm going to search is investor list. It is shocking how much stuff is available for free. Now, you may scroll once or twice and be like, oh, this is a waste of my time. Once again, you need to be spending 30, 45 minutes or an hour a day, or someone on your team does, looking through these things so you can really start to find some valuable sources. Now, you'll find a lot of people posting about it. Maybe you'll find companies, right? But as you start to sort through some of these posts, you'll realize that some people are giving away lists. Compile them. Like, you may as well be making use of these lists. Here's European specific funds. Awesome. Maybe you're not in Europe and you don't care. Keep scrolling. Family or early stage investors in Dubai. Cool. Is that going to be helpful? But spend some time scrolling through. And the stuff that I found is shocking. One, there's obviously a lot of people giving away lists as part of their engagement or their strategies. But here's the ultimate list of VCs, family offices, investors, and I bet he's giving it away for free. He just wants to be boosting his content, right? There's a lot of people who have access to this stuff who are willing to give it away for free because they are going to offer some type of supplementary service. But also, a lot of people understand that the list in and of itself and the data in and of itself a lot of times is useless unless you know what to do with it, right? Which is when it came to backyard, why I started talking about, hey, we need to find these people. Let's start to connect with them. Let's make an interaction. Let's make sure we have brand alignment, that we're engaging, that we're posting, whatever it is. We're starting down this path of establishing a relationship. Okay, comment on this stuff. Find these firms. I have found a lot of free tools by doing this. One of them is folk.app. Okay, I followed this from a LinkedIn post from this exact search of investor lists, or maybe I searched investor lists, plural, right? And came upon this app where they have huge compilations of investor data. Right? Here's just one seed and series A US based VCs. Okay. There is the name, the company, the direct email, the URLs to their company. Once again, you should be spending time on a daily basis going through this. If you're trying to raise 10 million bucks, you're trying to raise a few $1,000,000 for a real estate deal, it's worth your time to really make sure you're finding the right investment partners. Okay. Now, obviously, a lot of this is publicly available information, which is why it's been given away for free. But this is where you start, right? Alston Venture Fund. Okay. We're going to go to the company. We're going to copy this. We're going to take this back over to LinkedIn. We're going to see if we can find these people. Okay, we're going to look for a company. This may be it. They don't have a huge LinkedIn presence. They don't even have a profile picture, but they have some employees, general partner at underscore VC. So that's probably not the best match. But guess how much time I just spent on that? 20 seconds. Like I'll spend 20 seconds trying to find the right investment partners all day long. Right? You do this over the course of an hour, and then all of a sudden you're vetting 50 or 100 different firms and seeing like, hey, you know what? 5 of these are a really good fit. Well, cool. Spend another 10 minutes figuring out how to get in touch with those 5 people. Like this ideally should be taking you 30 to 45 minutes a day, which really isn't too much time. Once again, you can hire a VA to do a lot of this for you as well. I focus on supporting founders, building businesses. Now we're doing a lot of VC just because I've been doing a lot of VC for some of our clients recently. We're doing several Series A raises. However, this is the same principle to follow, right? A lot of these same lists are available for family offices, right? Real estate investors. Check out to see where these people are actively investing, if there's any information on that. Check out to see on their LinkedIn profiles of the founders, what are these people actively talking about, right? What are these people actively engaging with? Okay, so I've got 20 mutual connections with this guy, so I'm just going to send him a connection request. Great. The cool thing is people want to connect with you when they see at a glance, like, hey, this guy's kind of legit, right? It's not some account with 50 followers and no profile picture with zero information about what they do. Like, hey, this is probably going to be of benefit to me, right? So we see here active VC firm, right? So this is how you need to start thinking about some of these free data sources and what to actually do with them. Now we've talked about where to find them. Literally go to folk.app and sign up and mess around with building different investor pipelines. It's really easy and it's all free. And also spend some time scrolling through LinkedIn and just searching for investor lists. Figure out who's giving this stuff away. Maybe some of it's junk, but there's going to be a lot of gold nuggets in there, right? This is the same approach that you take when it comes to finding deals, right? How many deals do you go through, or how many iterations of your company do you go through to actually get to a point where there's a quality product or you're finding quality deals? It's a lot. And it's going to be the same with investors, right? Especially when it's free, right? Guys, this is free. So you're investing your time, not your money. You need to probably spend some time vetting through this and finding some of the right things, some of the right resources for you. So free lists. Also, another favorite of mine, investor database. Well, let's just do investor lists, free. My goodness, let's see what Google has. Google's got some interesting things. Go through some of these and once again, spend a few minutes vetting what's real and what's going to be a potential for you, right? It's worth your time to figure out what is going to be the right fit for you and what are going to be good sources for you in the long run. A crowdsourced list of 1,000 investors. Interesting. Let's see what this is. Oh, investorlist.co, right? And you're going to start to see lots of different options for you of things people give away for free. There's a lot of stuff that you can give for free here if you understand where to look. Now, some of the considerations, and we've mentioned a few of these, is none of this works unless you understand who you're going after. The types of investors specifically that I categorize 3 groups: institutional, professional, and retail. If you're going after retail, this isn't going to work. But if you're going after professional and institutional, these are people that you could find and identify, right? You can literally Google family offices in Utah, family offices in Connecticut, right? Figure out who some of these people are. And there's going to be a few that you'll get. Then you'll take those over to LinkedIn and do some more digging. Then you'll connect with the CFO or the founder, whatever it is, establish some of these relationships, right? And the institutional, the reason I really focus on these 2 is 1, larger check sizes. 2, it's going to be much more beneficial in the long run to have larger investment partners, right? In addition to these larger check sizes. This is really what starts to lead to other investors and other groups and other, people of interest who are potentially willing to look at your stuff. First consideration. Second consideration is really just doing a little bit deeper dive on those three categories and understand what do you need to be optimized for, right? Do you need a huge social media presence and, funnels and paid advertising and paid brand presence to attract accredited investors? Yeah, probably, but that's not going to go the same distance when it comes to institutional or professional, right? Really optimizing for bankability, investability, being compelling and knowledgeable, crafting your brand presence around these things, really establishing that you know what you're talking about, have authority in this space, that you can add value to these connections and to these relationships. And the last point I'll mention is you need to understand where you fit along the line of capturing demand here on the right versus generating demand. Right? I go through all these things with every raise and every deal that we do because I need to know, are there people looking for what I'm offering? And do I just need to find them? Or do I need to create a new audience, or do I need to create a new customer for what it is that I'm offering? Right? This is why a lot of people who focus on retail investors spend so much time generating demand. They're convincing people to invest. Right? They're creating these products. Sorry, creating products that people are then wanting to invest in. This is why Grant Cardone spends so much time going after smaller check sizes. He's creating demand for a product that may not really fit well with people who are already looking to invest. So you need to look at your projects, think, do I need to create demand for this? Do I need to capture demand for this? The more you capture demand, the more you're really just meeting a checklist of requirements. But this is really where these people start to fall in line, of ultra high net worths all the way up to institutions. The more further right you go, the more requirements you're going to need to meet. And so it's really a matter of deciding what your strategy is going to be all the way from the inception of the deal. And this is a lot of what we help people with, right? But there's great tools to find investors for free. A lot of ways, if you're willing to spend 30 minutes to 60 minutes a day, train VAs to do all this stuff, start on LinkedIn, Google list, right? Search those people on LinkedIn, search company types on LinkedIn, filter by area, connect with the principals, connect with the people there, start to establish relationships and connections. And you'll find that very quickly over the course of the next 90 days, 120 days, that all of a sudden you have a much larger Rolodex of people willing to give you attention, willing to give you time, relationships that you've established, and all those things. So if you guys are looking to accelerate your capital raising efforts, go to investorready.co. Check out exactly how we can help you out. We build world-class materials, help you identify the right investors, put together investor outreach systems, and walk you through every step of the capital raise process. Based on what you need, we do really great stuff. If you found value from this, please like and share and tune into our next video. Thanks.